the best market or transfer deal but so far, even as it sits now, I'll still say Liverpool is doing a really good job. In my books, they're having the best summer transfer that they've ever had. I think that's probably any team has ever had, really. If you see the numbers that is going in and out now, and not just in, like even what's going out too. So um I'm not tracking much on, so-called the lesser teams, I suppose, like the outside the top six, so to say. But in the Premier League,
So
but if in the Premier League, in America, say Liverpool's doing good so far.
when you say they are buying what they need, can you elaborate on that? When you say they are buying what they
Okay,
need,
so before I can jump off to like Infancy United, I think say we've had this conversation in passing. Um, we also what United did last season. Across board, there were so many gaps in there. They have a good set of players, but as a team, but now it looks like the forward line was very weak from last year. I think said Holland or more forward line. I don't know how many goals in total that they had, but the guys that they bringing in now, I mean, Cunha, this guy is very aggressive. He's going to want at least 15 to 18 goals. I'm telling you, he's just going to want that, even from being a withdrawn forward, so to say. I mean, who space or should I occupy in that forward line? But I think say he's going to do that. In Burma, you know what he's going to do. He's going to want to be that guy, and even more so now you have Sesko coming in, right? If that is done, that guy is also going to want to be the guy. And notwithstanding, you have Bruno Fernandes that's he's been doing it for the last couple years too. So this is what the team needs, and they're doing that. In terms of Liverpool, I'll tell you that they went big on the German kid, no, because
yeah, we are
oh
gonna
share.
come there. I'm gonna
Oh no,
come.
say
I'm gonna
say
come
oh,
to that question.
we you can't even numbers. Right? We say can what they need,
Mhm.
right? They needed a creative midfielder that can occupy that withdrawn 10, 9, 8, that area. No? Yeah, you continue free when he was there and he left. No? Liverpool haven't had a creative midfielder. They've had really strong runners that will run for you and leave the creativity and most of the finishing, to just the forward. That is Mane, Salah, and Firmino, right?
Yeah.
They haven't had someone with that flair. No? So with him in particular, it's something that they needed. They needed to do that. Everything else, is being deals that are kind of like it's been available to them, right? And they've been able to go in and do that. Trent was a creative player for them, but he played from so deep.
Deep.
Now he's not there no more. So they needed to get somebody that's creative. So I think so that's the need. I mean, Arsenal is doing the same thing. They need
Bye.
not just a forward. They need somebody that will put the ball in the net, and they're going to get somebody that has a good record of doing that, putting the ball in the back of the net. So that is the need that I'm talking about. It looks like they're doing some wants as well with the wingers, the Chelsea kid that's come over, and but that's kind of like wants, right? They want extra bodies because
As a backup.
you know correct, right? So those are the wants, but they need to. They've done that. They've been able to pull that forward person. Look at how long it took them between Sesko. Even at some point, we're talking about Isaac, right? This is us now. It was like Isaac was in and around the conversation there, but they're doing what they need. And again, I'm not tracking much with some of the lesser teams, who to say outside the top six. But with say Chelsea, say I don't really know what they need because they've bought so many players. It's it's kind of like they're just spreading the load across as opposed to And I mean, they've signed over 49 players in the last, you know, which which means they don't know what they need. They just bind them into it and just okay, let's
This
buy
matter
us.
chop hot too. Chelsea fans.
Oh, I'm buy a new better buy a dome. So
Okay.
and to, going out of the Premier League to say buy and say their kid broke his leg. Even before that, they needed somebody out wide, and the kid also broke the leg. So they went out and made sure they got that winger. No, no matter what it took, they made sure they did that. So some teams are doing what they need. That let's see how it goes. Some are doing what they want, but to your question there, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so, Nesta, Dan says Liverpool are winning right now in the transfer market. What's your take on it? What's your take on it?
Absolutely. They've spent almost 300 million pounds on players,
Yeah.
and I think Dan said a lot of great things. Personally, I believe that the players that they've bought, they actually need them, and I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna explain why they need them, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
um, let's look at the goalkeeper Mamadashvili from
Mm-hmm.
Valencia. They signed him last year and they let him play stay at Valencia for one more season. So he's 24
Correct.
years. Um, Allison is great. I mean I love Allison. But Allison is 32. Yeah, he's a goalkeeper. He still has maybe three years in him, three to 5 years in him. But with the way like soccer is like football is going, it's fast paced now. It's a lot of like sports science behind it. So they need a new goalkeeper. The other guy that is there, Kelleher,
Keller.
has grown impatient. He doesn't want to stay as a second like goalkeeper anymore. He want to move. So Liverpool needed a strong backup, and I think that's a great signing. Honestly, it's a strategic signing. Um, he's going to get games. Right now, it's a lot of games. Before I get into my other point, it's a lot of games that is going on. So, like Mamadashvili is going to get a lot of chances. When you look at the other players that they've signed, they've replaced Trent with Frimpong. They kind of have like similar traits, whereas the only difference is that Frimpong actually knows how to defend. Trent didn't know how to defend. Liverpool had to move their whole like tactics to cover trends. Every time you watch Liverpool, you can see Konate and Sobosalai doing so much on the right wing because they have to cover Trent and Salah. But Frimpong can do this job by himself. I mean, when he was at Liverpool, he was playing as a ring back, as a right wing back. So I think that's absolutely a need. Um, like he's a like for like replacement for Trent, but he does more in terms of defending than Trent. Kirkes is a left back. Um, Robertson. Sorry, this summer I'm trying to disassociate from soccer. Last year I involved myself too much, so this summer I was trying to relax. That's why
Uh-huh.
I'm not remembering the players' names, but Robertson is old. He's been there for a while. He's served his time. He's won them a Champions League. He's won them two league titles. Um, Last season I think he had a lot of injuries, so he was being covered a lot by Chimikas. But
Hmm.
Chimikas has never been trusted by Liverpool. Liverpool don't really
They don't
trust
trust
him
him.
like that. And Kirkes at Bournemouth last season, I mean, he did great. I think he was solid. So even if Robertson was to leave, now they have Kirkes and Chimikas fighting for the left back position. So I think that's also a need. And then when you move forward, just like Dan said, ever since Coutinho left, so when Coutinho left, what Klopp did was that he switched their whole play and involved a lot of wing play. So Liverpool,
Mm.
that's why Liverpool sends a lot of crosses into the box because they didn't have that attacking flair. They didn't have that number 10 who could, drop deep, carry the ball in. They didn't have that. So now their whole tactic was move the ball quickly to the wings, let them send a cross in, move Salah inward so that Trent can have the whole right wing to himself. So now with Verts, it's going to be different. Verts is your typical number 10. So Verts can drop deep. He can interchange passes with um, McAllister or Sobosalai and then carry the ball forward, which is great.
Mm.
And then They signed Hugo Ekitike, which I think is a great signing. He has potential, right? Darwin Nunez is leaving. They already sold Luis Diaz, which I think they scammed Bayern, but like we're gonna get there. I think they
That
scammed Bayern out of like 75 million pounds.
that's a scam.
Right, and then now they're trying to get
I'm gonna
Isak.
come there.
That Isak move, that is, I feel like it's out of spite, but it's also a need because they're getting rid of Nunez. Liverpool doesn't have a typical number nine, except Nunez. Nunez was their typical number
But
nine.
the
And
Isak one hasn't happened yet.
right, right. No, I'm saying that they are pushing for him. They've put in 125
Okay.
million pounds bid for him.
Mhm.
I'm saying that I can see why they think they need him because Nunez is leaving. Um, And if Nunez is gone, they don't have a typical number nine. Yes, they've signed Hugo, but Hugo wasn't a typical number nine. He's good. He can play as a nine, but he's not your number nine. And I think with this new Liverpool coach, he's different than Klopp in the way he wants his team to set up, right? So he may need that number nine, and I think that's where Isak comes in. Isak is proven. I used to laugh at Newcastle when they paid 50 million pounds for him from Real Sociedad because
Mhm.
I didn't think he was worth that money, but he's proven me wrong, honestly.
Oh, you
And
prove.
and
Okay. I think
so I think, mhm.
a lot of people didn't think Isak would work out, and I was telling
Yeah,
Dan the last time that I think I saw he had the potential, but I didn't think he
yes,
was
that's
gonna
what I was gonna
survive in the
say.
Premiership.
Right. I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing that he has potential. Real Sociedad in Spain,
Yeah.
is in Spain is Barcelona, Real Sociedad, and Real Betis. Those are the teams that play and Villarreal. Those are the teams
Yeah.
that play attacking football. So if you're not scoring goals for Real Sociedad, then where are you going to score? I knew he had potential, but I didn't think he was worth 50 million pounds at the time, right? So and another reason why I think Liverpool need this squad rebuilding is that um their players are aging, like and that is why I'm perplexed as to why maybe Dan might know more than me, but I'm perplexed as to why they haven't signed any defender. Konate has 1 year left on his contract. Gomez is injury prone. Van Dijk is old, and Van Dijk has never been the same since he tore his ACL in 2021. I mean,
Mhm.
he still won them a Premier League title. He's taking them to the Champions League final. But Van Dijk to me has never been the same since that Everton game that Pickford hurt him. He's never been the same. So Liverpool is signing so many players, but they haven't really addressed where it's
Maybe they are
important to
still
address.
looking.
Probably they sold Jaro Konsa to Liverpool for 30 million pounds,
That
which I
that
think
that
is
was
great business.
surprising to me though, because I
Yeah,
know Gomez is injury prone. So Kwanzaa is young and upcoming. I was surprised they sold him. So okay,
I
so
think they retained a buyback clause. I think they retained the buyback clause. But the other reason though is that
mm,
besides the old age, this season that we're about to enter is a World Cup season, and
mhm,
because of the fixture list, their
mhm,
teams are countries are still playing their qualifiers, and don't forget there is AFCON coming up. So Liverpool bosses are sitting and they're scratching their head. They're like, okay, come January, we're going to lose Salah for about maybe 3 weeks to a month. So we need these players. We need every every African player in their team that's going to leave, they need a replacement. They need players there. And then the Champions League now has 2 or 4 additional games depending on where like you land like on the table.
so you
So yeah,
also so do you also think that Liverpool are the winners of this transfer so far?
absolutely. So far they are. I mean, they
But
haven't
Man
just
United
bought
bought
right.
Mbuemo, Cunha,
We're gonna get there.
and
We're gonna
Sesko.
get there. See, I want you to stop being
I'm not
biased.
being biased. What do you think of that one too? Are they
I'm gonna
not
get there.
buying what they need?
So like Liverpool has identified, and Liverpool
Mhm.
has money to spend. After they renovated their stadium,
Yeah.
this is their time. They have money to spend. So
Mhm.
like no doubt they're spending it. I think they're spending wisely. They've scammed Bayern out of 75 million pounds. Nunez is gonna go for another 75 million pounds. They
Okay.
sold Kwanzaa for 30 million pounds. So right there, that's almost 200 million pounds.
Yeah.
So that brings their net spending to almost 100 million pounds, which is not bad for how many players they've acquired. Now, United, right? Cunha is a great player. He's good. I've watched him at Atletico Madrid. I watched him at Manchester. I mean at Wolverhampton Wanderers. He's good. Was he worth how much you guys paid for? I don't think so.
Okay. Right
Same
now,
same
I
goes
don't
for
want us to go
Mbuemo.
into the price. That will be my next question. I want us to focus on the buy.
Same for Mbuemo.
Uh huh.
I don't think Mbuemo is Manchester United quality. With
Mm,
all due respect to Imbuemo, he's good. He did amazing last season. Him and Wisa
mm.
at Brentford, they did great. But I don't think he's Manchester United quality, to be honest.
At this
But
point,
once
don't you
again,
think
maybe
it's what we deserve for being in that position, putting ourselves
that
in 15th and not playing Europe?
that's exactly why United is in this position because United keep buying players because they think that's what they deserve.
Mm,
Manchester United, the brand is still there. The
yep,
Manchester
you're still
United
big.
brand will always be there.
Yeah,
So why don't you keep capitalizing on like Liverpool didn't win EPL for over 30 years. They became a laughing stock.
yeah, yeah.
For over 20
Nostalgia.
years,
Yeah,
the only thing they had to show for was that Champions League in 2000 and was it 2003? Um
yeah.
in like Istanbul. For a long
2005.
time. Was it 2005? Yeah, 2005. For the longest time, that was the only thing that they could show for. They became a laughing stock, right? And Manchester United, you guys haven't gotten into that tunnel yet. I mean, you're still like in the dark place. But then there is this occasional FA Cup win. There is this occasional like Europa League final, even though you lost to Tottenham. But Liverpool didn't have that. Think back when Klopp came to Liverpool, right?
Mhm.
Klopp came to Liverpool and he understood what was there, what he needed to do. So bit by bit, like he will go out and he'll buy like Robertson, he will promote trends. He will tell Simon Mignolet, I don't need you anymore. He sends him out, he brings Karius in. Karius takes him to a Champions League final. He plays terribly. Next season he gets rid of him. He brings Allison in. He sells Coutinho, he brings in Van Dijk and all these players. He brought in like Salah.
Mane, Sane.
Mani Salah, Firmino was already there. Firmino was actually like Brendan Rodgers by anyways. But I think Embuemo, for as good a season that he had at Brentford, I don't think he's Manchester United quality. But if you guys buy Sesko, it changes everything. I
Mm. Why?
personally,
Why you say that?
I would have loved for Barca to buy Sesko. I say that because United, with the way your coach wants the team to play, okay, before I get there, right now in Europe or in the world, there is not a lot of number nines that know how to dribble.
Of course, yes, true.
There's not a lot of number nines that can dribble. So Sesko gives you that. Sesko is your Julian Alvarez, like if you will. So with the way United want to play with their 3-3-1-4-2 or whatever formation they want to play,
Hmm.
I think Sesko can interchange with Cunha. If Cunha plays as a support striker, if the coach sets Cunha and Imbuemo behind Sesko, I think the front three becomes very mobile. They confuse defenders.
Okay.
I don't trust Hoyland.
Okay, so my question to Dan was, how do you see Joker as fitting into Arteta's setup?
Okay. So for the past, I don't know, 5 years Arteta has been, or however long he's been there, the Atiani say they are building. But
Mm,
it got to a point where it was Omar build there, they need that forward person, that striker that will put the ball in the nets.
yep.
And as it sits now, that's what this guy does, right? He's been in England before. I wasn't really following. As a matter of fact, I didn't follow him much until maybe later on the season when he was, at that point we are looking at what we are looking at now, right? You cannot tell much at the beginning of the season,
Yeah, yeah.
but he had been in England before. I believe two different teams, right? It
Yeah, he
didn't
played for
necessarily, right.
Coventry and Brighton, I think.
Correct. And didn't necessarily pan out how, but he was, it happens, right? He
Yeah,
had
yeah.
gone out,
Right.
he went out to the Portuguese league, um, and he's come good, right? So with what we are seeing now and with what they need, he's bringing that need to them, right? They need somebody that can put the ball in the net. He's more experienced now. He looks like he wants to be that guy. Um, and he's shown that he can do it. The only concern is, especially for me, and in relation to Nunes coming from the same league, we kind of saw the same thing with Nunes, right? The 3 years on, we didn't see it, right?
Mm.
And it was very disappointing because you could see the talent, you could see
Right.
that.
Mhm.
Um, Me personally, I like Nunes. I like the chaos that he brings to the team.
Yep.
You know, everybody is so lack of better words, like so mannered, so cultured. They stick to their plan. Nunes is just like, he's just wild. My Liverpool group, your friend Abu Aboni, because Obedi Bonenko, the guy is just gonna cause chaos for everybody.
I think he
But
You know,
wasn't
you
loved.
know, you know, Suarez recommended him for Barca when he was at Almeria.
correct.
I think that was the pandemic year when Barca was trying to get rid of Suarez, and Suarez said he's getting older, but there's this young kid at Almeria. That was before he even went to Benfica. So me, I've always liked him.
Oh,
I
really?
wish
Suarez
I
liked
wish
him?
Yeah.
I've always liked Nunez. Yeah, I've always I wish Barca could sign him, even though he misses all these great opportunities. I think he'll be great for a team in Spain. Honestly, I mean, he already played in La Liga before, so he knows the terrain. But I mean, we cannot afford him. Liverpool is charging too much for him.
No, because the potential is still there. Not to deviate from Gyökeres, right?
Yeah.
You see, Nunes. It's just that if Klopp was there today, he would still be in a team. Nunes
Hmm.
was
Hmm.
quote unquote Klopp's buy, right?
Yeah.
Everybody was stuck to that plan of just doing what they do. Salah on the wings, Mane running out wide on the wings
Mm.
with Robertson, Firmino bringing everybody in and out of the play. That phase kind of went away, right?
Right, right.
Yeah.
So we needed something. He was just a maverick that this guy would come in and just be chaotic,
Yeah.
right? Me personally, I appreciate that. And I believe deep down the Liverpool fans love them. It's just that when you are that number nine and there's a need for you to do what you have to do, and out of every seven opportunities, you pull one away, it's very frustrating. But with this Victor Gyökeres guy, it looks like he's only gonna need three chances to pull one away, as opposed to seven to pull one away, right? So
He didn't
Arsenal,
look that impressive in his first game, though.
it's the first game, and you cannot really go by, right? Even I
Preseason.
was at work, I was talking to my colleague there, and he's like, "Oh, Arsenal just did this, this, and that." And I said, "Listen, this guy probably have had 2 hours training session with this team.
Right,
You
right.
cannot really go by anything.
Yeah.
It's probably he's just trying to make sure his uniform fits, probably." you know, the kit man is probably looking at, okay, maybe we need to, loosen up this and that. They're just trying to assess and make sure he looks good on that field, and he's probably just trying to get his his legs moving again.